got?
Oh man, I feel like I just ran at 10,000 meters. This has been awesome. This is just incredible running out here. We started off the day with the Railroad Athletics 10,000 early section of the men's. We moved our way through the 1,500, saw a tie record set by Kieran Tuntavate. We saw Centro in that race. We saw Evan Jager in this race. We just saw we just saw a host of great runs happening in that last, oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. In that last event by the women. Gabriela Salama putting herself in the top 10 of all time, first sub 30 on American soil. And here is the men. The last race of the day, the men's 10,000 meters. We're going to have two pacers. Eamon Kemboy and Ahmed Mohammed will be doing the duties up front with some help from the Wave Light system. They'll be joined by Australian national record holder Jack Rayner. They'll have Andreas Almgren of Nike, American record holder Grant Fisher. Let's talk about that for a minute. 2 years ago, we saw a heck of a battle between Grant Fisher and Mo Ahmed. They were teammates at the time. Last year, we saw Woody Kincaid and Joe Klecker do battle. Now we've got all four of them and a host of other great international athletes, including Brian Fay of Ireland, representing Nike. We got the recent NCAA Indoor double champion, Nico Young from NAU. Thank you, Coach Mike Smith, for letting him come down here and race. Ben Flanagan of Canada in the on-athletic singlet today. Emmanuel Bohr, Jonas Rees, Kita Sato, Niels Voigt, Edwin Kurgat, Patrick Deaver, Jack Rowe, Charles Hicks, Mo Ahmed, as we mentioned earlier, Adrian Wildskut, the South African national record holder in the 5K, now trying to get it in the 10, Isaac Kameli, Kazuya Shijiro, Tomaki Ota, Mebuki Suzuki, Kotaro Shinohara, Kazuki Tamaru, Anthony Rotich, Abdi Nur. I mean, Abdi Nur all the way down this list is crazy. Avinash Sable, Morgan McDonald in the 10K, Athanas Kyoko, Alex Masai, Wesley Kiptu, Haptim Samuel, Adisu Yahuni, Dylan Maggard, Luis Grijalva, and Isai Rodriguez. I mean, that is a distance running Hall of Fame, all on the same track at the same time. I mean, just look at that. It is so many guys in this race. This is going to be awesome.
So 62-1 on the opener for our Rabbits up front. And I'm really intrigued by some of our folks that haven't had a great build-up. Woody Kincaid, I know that Klecker was a little bit off. I see Luis Grijalva there running in about 7th place, has had some injuries. How does this play out for them, where the build-up maybe hasn't, I mean, in the last couple of months since Boston, things may have gone well, but can you put it together even if things haven't been perfect? And that's the whole challenge. That's part of the intrigue of this race. And they are absolutely rolling right now. Nur in 3rd place at the moment. Grijalva looks unbelievable, as does about 30 other guys in this race.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to pick any guys out. And I got to apologize to every man in this field, all 38 of them, because I just can't possibly list all the incredible accomplishments as I'm introducing 38 people. I mean, I missed national records. I missed NCAA champions. I mean, if I said every one of those, we'd be here all night. This is incredible, the depth of the field that Jesse Williams has assembled here at Sound Running. And now we just have to buckle our seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
So 1,000 meters in 2:42 up front. And Hayden, I'm right there with you. If you gave the credentials of everybody, it would take 27 minutes and the race would be over. So we got to call this thing. This is absolutely amazing. So I see Nur.
That's Dylan Maggard in 2nd, representing that new Brooks B singlet. You might have seen that up front at World Indoors with Josh Kerr. We've got Mo Ahmed in there as well. Haptim Samuels behind Maggard. Then we have Grijalva. Then we have Wildskut. Yeah, I mean, it's just impossible. There's just too many. We're going to give it a couple laps, let things space out. We saw the women's race. It was all over the track, absolute carnage, and we still had several national records. So let's give these guys a couple of laps. Maybe I'm just selfishly giving myself a moment to catch a breath.
So I was listening to Coffee Club on the way over, and Morgan McDonald talked about how he had a little something going on, and I don't see him in the field unless I'm missing him. And we wish him the best. whether he's on the track or off the track, and I don't see him on the live results either. So hopefully that was a good decision as we came through at 2:09 with Kemboy still out front. Nur, Maggart, Samuel, Grijalva, Rotich, Nico, Masai running for Hoka now, Grant, Wild Shot, Charles Hicks, Klecker, Woody, Bohr, Kurgat, who had that sub-13 indoors. Now the crowd really giving it up.
So Adrian Vildscoot, the South African 5K record holder, trying to do it in the 10K, moving up as well. But I talked to him earlier this week. He said, I don't care about the time. Everybody runs fast. It's not cool anymore. I want to win. I want to win. He said it's going to be hard. There's some great guys in this race, and he named a lot of them. He's got a ton of respect for the guys in this field, especially the guys that he sees all the time in Flagstaff in the Mike Smith collective. But I mean, Vildscoot's a guy that I think you need to be on watch for because he was pretty good in the NCAA. He wasn't great, he was pretty good, but he had the strength. Now here's where you need to watch him. I think he's finally got the speed. He just ran 12:56 at BU, outkicked a lot of the guys in this field on an indoor track in BU. If he has some wheels, he is going to be very, very dangerous. And I'm not just talking about the 10, I'm talking about medals. And I might be getting ahead of myself here, but I think he is very good.
I love it.
He is the best South African distance runner in history already, and I think he's just getting started. And he's sitting behind Luis Grijalva, who is the best Guatemalan distance runner in history, who's sitting behind Dylan Maggart, sitting behind Abdi Nur, and then we have our two pace setters, Ahmed Mohamed and Eamon Kemboy up front.
So 5:23 at 2K after hitting 4:18 at 1,600 meters. And Louis G looks absolutely amazing up front, running very smooth with Nur in third.
Yeah,
Masai, Wildshot, as you mentioned, and Nico cruising.
Yeah, Grijalva was fourth at 2022 and 2023 Worlds. That 2023 one has a little asterisk next to it because he might get moved up to third. We had a little bit of a concern up front. I won't even mention the name, but would love to see him get put up to bronze. And Grijalva's got a great story too, man. Represents Guatemala International, but he's a DACA dreamer. I don't know if you remember the hullabaloo, we'll call it, last year, where he wanted to go compete at Worlds, but they wouldn't let him leave the country, had to get special permission to leave the country and represent Guatemala internationally, and did so well on the world stage. He's sitting behind Dylan Maggart, who doesn't have the credentials as some of the guys in this race, but Maggart's a guy that people really sleep on. He is super, super tough. I saw him run a great 10K 2 years ago in Stanford. He's now running for the Brooks Beast, and he's not afraid of anybody. Let me tell you that. And that's obvious by him ducking in right behind Abdi Nur on the pointy side of this race.
Yeah, Maggart looks very smooth. I'm just trying to consume this race, and I'm not gonna lie, it is difficult. It's overwhelming to look at the amount of skill out there and how good everybody looks. I'm looking at Klecker, I'm looking at Woody and Mo, just absolutely fantastic. And the fact that the international level of this field, and who knows how many national records are on the line, and everybody just looks so locked in.
Well, I know, 16 of them. 16 national records on the line in this race. I don't think we'll get all of them because some of those national records are pretty insane. I don't think we're seeing 26:17 from Kenenisa Bekele going down tonight, but there are 16 countries represented in this race, and I think there's a good shot that several of those records go down, but as you said, it's just too early to know. I mean, look at that line. It is insane the amount of guys that are running at the top of their abilities right now. We have perfect weather, we have perfect pace setting, we have the wave light system set up. You cannot ask for anything else to run fast here in San Juan Capistrano. So let's break down it a little bit more. We still have our pace setting being done by Eamon Kemboy. We have Ahmed Mohamed behind him. We have Abdi Nur is our first racer, because we expect the next two to drop off. Grijalva sitting in the next position. Then Dylan Maggart. Adrian Vildscoot is next.
Kurgat,
thank you. Edwin Kurgat of Baltimore Distance Project. And you know what's crazy? You know who we haven't mentioned other than the start list? The American record holder, Grant Fisher. I mean, we haven't even said his name. That's how good this field is.
8:38 at 3,200 meters, so 4:18, 4:20. We were at 8:00s through 3K, and it's fair to say that there are 25 guys running on the rail that are connected. That includes Woody. He's got Nico right behind him. Just a powerhouse field, still locked in as we now move into mile 3.
You know, you said it, I'm eyeing that pocket right there. I'm calling it the pocket. Look behind Dylan Maggart, right? You have Adrian Wildskut, who's got a ton of international experience. You have the silver medalist, we haven't mentioned that yet, silver medalist at the Olympic Games, Mo Ahmed back in there. You've got Kurgat, as I mentioned, the NCAA cross-country champ in 2019, beat Klecker, beat Mance, beat Kemboy, beat several others, beat Mills, beat Goose, ran 12:57 and won his section in the BU 5K, beating Mills and Goose in that race. The Iowa State grad, he's in that kind of pocket as well. You got Joe Klecker in there, who we saw him do battle with Woody Kincaid last year, two of the best 10K distance men. You have Hatem Samuel, who was second at NCAA Cross. I mean, what have these guys not done? That's the question.
You know, I think there's a big advantage, and you're right, because I'm looking at this race and I'm seeing gentlemen that need medals. There's some that have them, but a lot that don't. And then I think one huge advantage of the dynamic of this race that we haven't seen tonight is that we've got, in earlier races, we'd see wave lights with like 3 people, wave lights with 2 people. Now we see wave lights with 12, with a huge field. So it's not like the wave light pressure is just sitting on one person's shoulder. And that really plays into the hands of somebody like Klecker, or Woody, or Nico, Charles Hicks, and I see Klecker now just making sure that he stays connected to Grant Fisher as they run in like 7th, 8th place. So you know what I mean, Hayden? Like earlier it was like, man, 1 person in wave lights. Now it's 15 in wave lights. So they could kind of race each other instead of just having those lights drag them around. I think the lights can be to their advantage when you've got more people.
Well, you said it. I mean, as good as the women's race was in the results, right? The results were awesome. But the way it actually happened we struggled with the pacing, we broke up into different groups. Yeah, they just didn't get, like, you really want to just ride a train for 8,000 meters and then race. And that's what's happening right now. I mean, that's easier said than done, right? When you're putting together an international class 10,000 meter field, it's so challenging to get the bodies necessary. But this is what you want to see, because right now the only one that is doing the work is the pacer, Ahmed Mohammed of Nazali, who was paid to do this, right? Everybody else is, as Mike Smith would say, going to sleep. I hope Nico Young is taking a little power nap there behind Woody Kincaid, because this is looking great for everybody. Just a nice straight line. Everybody hopefully relaxed, waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's what you do. You don't race a 10K. The 10K races you. So sit back and wait. And that's what all these gentlemen are doing. And we're going to see some fast times because of it.
You know, one way to kind of determine how things are going, unfortunately, Dylan Maggart has moved back in the field. I watched as people went around him, and they moved around quickly. So, like, Nico Young is in uncharted territory at this pace for this long, right? He moved right around, stayed right on Woody's heels. Woody stays connected. Grant Fisher, no problem at all. Klecker right there. And and I could see now we've lost a pacer up front, and it's Nur and Louis G with Mo right there. Wildschut, as you've mentioned, and I totally agree with you that he's an international competitor.
Yeah, let's get it excited. Mohammed
getting
people going. Nur staying relaxed. I like that. Just be patient. Him and Grijalva, they train together. They know what to do. Mo Ahmed sitting behind them. Man, I don't even know who to call. These guys are so good. There's maybe 10 or 15 guys in this race that could win. I don't want to speak too soon. We're almost at 5K, and it looks like they're doing a workout. There's 20 guys just tucked in, looking relaxed.
So we're going to line them up at 5K. And give some times. So we've got Nur, Louis G, Mo, Wildschut all lined up, and we're at 28, 29, 30, 31 for Nur. So you can count it back from there. and the end of the train is at 36 or so. So everybody is right. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's call it 20 guys are threatening 27 minutes. And I'm not gonna lie, he's got my favorite form in the world, Louis G. Nobody runs smoother. Those feet just bounce off the ground. Look at the form.
Smooth.
Whether he's running 3:35 for 1,500 meters or threatening for a medal at the world level, Louis G crushing right now.
Well, so something a little extra special for the American men in this race, right? So those lights are at 27 flat. Do you know how many men have broken 27 flat for the U.S.? 4. That's it. Grant Fisher, Galen Rupp twice, and Chris Zielinski. So I guess technically 3. I think we might see it tonight. Grijalva's doing the work up front right now. Nur behind him. Mo Ahmed, Mo Speed as we like to call him. Or as he calls himself, I don't know. He's going to be dangerous with some kick. Vildscoot in there. Kurgat in there. Fisher in there. Klecker.
Hey, so let's keep an eye on. He's in a blue Nike kit, and he's running right behind Klecker. Is Andres Almgren from Sweden, who's run 3:32 flat and 59:23 for a half marathon. This is his debut at this distance, and
yeah, he is very, very good. He ran 59:23 for a half marathon 4 weeks ago in Barcelona. Went 7 years between international competitions and earned 4th at Euros this year. He's an 8-time national champion. The dude has a ton of range. We hadn't said his name yet, but you're right. Sitting behind Klecker, that ain't a bad spot to be. That's where Woody Kincaid sat last year before he won this race.
So he's got national records at numerous distances for Sweden, including the 1,500, 3K indoors and outdoor 5K.
So leading the field right now, Luis Grijalva, the Guatemalan national record holder at 27:42, running well under 27 flat pace.
So the Swedish national record is looking to go down tonight. It's 27:55. The Swedish national record is under threat.
Well, the Canadian record's under threat with Mohamed there. Vildscoot with the South African national record under threat. I'd like to see him tuck in behind Ahmed. Maybe he's just feeling a little extra good. Grant Fisher hasn't done a thing. He's just chilling back there, which is great. We got a bunch of Japanese runners that look great in the back of this pack. They're running smart, staying out of trouble. Still 10 laps to go. So 242, 243 is what we've been clicking off. So we are slowing just a little bit. And someone's got to go help out Luis. He's a 5K runner. Why are we making him do all the work? Let's get a 10K guy up there. I'd like to see Klecker hit some Klecker miles up front and do a little bit of work for these gents. But that's what happens in a field like this is, yeah, oh, there we go. Just on time. Abdi Nur starting to do a little work. I like it. I'd like to see Ahmed get up there a little bit. You're a medalist, man. Help some people up. Adrian Vildscoot, he's not afraid to go to the front. We'll see if he goes and helps people out. But that's what happens in a field like this is everybody's so good that you don't really want to set the pace. I mean, we saw that happen to Grant Fisher a couple weeks ago, set the pace for Josh Kerr to set an indoor 2-mile world record. If you set the pace, you're opening up the door to a little bit of risk. But these guys need to go after it. Remember, I mean, there's some money on the line tonight, but we're not talking about life-changing money. What's life-changing money is getting a medal at the Olympic Games. And that's what these guys are thinking about right now is this is a preview of the Olympic Games. We talked about the international field. Most of the guys in the front of this pack we're going to see again in Paris this summer. They're testing each other out, trying to figure out where their strengths are, where are the weaknesses. And there we go, Mohamed to the front, the Canadian national record holder, the silver medalist, starting to put in a little bit of work.
So let's also keep an eye on the NCAA record of 27:08:39 by Chilanga. So that is something that Nico has got to be thinking about. My perspective on Grant right now is that they're on 27:05 pace. I think Grant is cool to sit back as he starts to move now. I think Grant's cool to sit back and see those lights out in front of him. Klecker like a freaking magnet on Fisher. I love it. It's fantastic. But okay, now Grant, I don't think he's going to let those lights get too far away. He'll throw down in the last 1,200. Like, I think he's cool to be right there. you know, as long as he doesn't have to lead yet, right? I mean, we still have 10 minutes or we'll call it 8 minutes left of racing.
Well, they just came in front of the booth, and I could get a look at their faces. They look way too relaxed right now. I mean, that 27 flat right now, no one just wanted to do the work. That was the key. They all can do the work.
Look at Nico.
They just don't want to. Yeah, Nico Young moving up well. So you're starting to see the cream rise to the top a little bit. Mo Ahmed pushing the pace just a little bit, but doing it smoothly. Wildschut right behind him. I'm telling you, Wildschut's going to take over at a moment's notice. You're starting to see a little bit of separation. Grijalva losing a little bit of space. I think that's just inexperience. He shouldn't have gone to the front. He shouldn't have done all that work, but he's still going to come away with a Guatemalan record. But look at this. Ahmed, Wildschut, Kurgat, Fisher, Klecker, Hampton Samuel. I mean, this is excellent racing right here up front, and we still have so many guys in this race with 7 laps to go.
So, I mean, are we really going to see 10 guys break 27 here? Because now that we're approaching the 20-minute mark, like 10 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I mean, we're still got 10 in contention here. I'm worried about Abdi Nur as he's starting to lose Nico, and that group's going to go to 8 real soon here.
Yeah, him and Woody Kincaid both struggling just a little bit. They need to get on Nico, but I mean, both Woody and Abdi, we know this. If they're in sight of the front with 400 to go, those guys can freaking fly. I mean, their kicks are absolutely unbelievable. Right now, you've got Ahmed up front doing some great work. I think Kurgat's going to run something fast today, but what's also kind of fun about this is look at the team battles. We have Bowerman in front. We have NAZ Elite, who everybody sleeps on, in second. They just got a medal in Glasgow from Olin Hacker. We've got Mission Run, Under Armour. We got Nike. Oh, here we go. New Mexico. Hampton Samuel trying to do something, working his way up. I'd like to see him do some work. He's super strong. We saw it in cross, but Kurgat is not wanting to let him get around.
Hey, so I totally have missed this, and there's no excuse. Samuel and Nico battling for the NCAA record. Like, that's a
Samuel's still in the NCAA, New Mexico, right? They did battle in cross country. They're doing battle again, but now it's on the track, and they are both in this pack.
Coach Franklin, my apologies. As he moves
He's not in New Mexico anymore.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Sorry, New Mexico. Coach Franklin at Louisville, my mistake. But again, the NCAA record on the line.
So Mo Ahmed's still doing the work. Hampton Samuel has now worked his way into second. Keep in mind, he represents Eritrea. That is a very, very fast national record. Zersine Tadese ran 26:37 in Brussels in 2006. But Samuel's still young, putting himself in second. Wildschut in third, being patient. I mean, look at all these guys with 5 laps to go. Kurgat looks good. Fisher looks good.
And now Samuel cranking to the front. We're 5 to go.
We're starting to lose a little bit from Klecker here. Almgren looks very good as well. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Almgren, the Swede. Oh my gosh, here we go. We are winding up, 2K to go.
So we're kind of in that group of 7 as Klecker and Woody are now off a little bit, and then back to Nur, and Nico still in contention. Now Woody going around Klecker. Woody actually looks pretty freaking good. That was a sharp move by him to get connected, and Klecker stays there too.
Yeah, I mean, with Woody around, that's super dangerous. He's got some serious speed. I should note though, I mean, if you watched this race last year and you haven't watched a race since, you're probably remembering Woody Kincaid's serious speed, which is right. You're totally correct about that. But you know who outkicked him at BU? Wildschut. I've said his name a couple times. He's sitting in third. He looks so good right now. Grant Fisher's got some wheels. I think he's practicing his kick here. Maybe he knows he's got the strength. He's already qualified. Can he close against the best of the best? We've seen him be at the top of an international field. Is he going to get a medal this summer?
So I'm going to call this right now that Woody takes no worse than third in this race. And I know he's sitting in 8th place right now, but he's connected with a mile to go.
He's got a lot of very good guys to beat, I'll tell you that. Yeah, Klecker's starting to lose just a little bit. We're starting to break things up here.
And Grant now moves into third, and Nico's right there. And Nico has developed this monster kick over the last year.
Yeah, but will it be the same in a pro field? He's outkicked NCAA fields, but will it be the same against guys like this? I don't know. I mean, we said the same thing about Sadie Engelhardt, the high school girl, but she outkicked a bunch of pro women in the 1500. So who knows?
Well, the nice thing about those guys sitting in the back is they haven't had to do a ton of work. So they've been able to ride the rail in a very clean way, as it seems like everybody's starting to gather.
Fisher's gonna be hard to beat, man. He looks good. Look at that move up the inside. Starting to get on Ahmed a little bit, his former teammate. Ahmed's got some serious wheels as well, but he did a good bit of work there in the middle section. They're starting to queue up. You can see it. They're losing the lights a little bit. No one wants to push. Oh, but look who it is. Adrian Vilska decides to step up, do the work. They started getting a little cheeky, starting to play the tactical game, but it's Vilska who's gone to the front. Ahmed on his shoulder, Samuel on the inside, Kurgat on the outside. They are feeling really good right now. We are going to see something crazy in the end. Look at them. When they start getting to the outside like that, guys are getting impatient, and they've got some legs.
Part of that was a 65 on the most recent circuit, and you can see Nico putting his toes in the water, maybe going to go to the front.
What's that NCAA record again?
27:08. That's definitely going down tonight.
Samuel and Nico in that pack? Yeah, I think that's going down. Here we go. Vilska leads us down the home stretch. Ahmed on his shoulder. Samuel on the inside. Nico on the outside. Kurgat in the middle. Grant Fisher chilling back there. Amgren sitting back there. Kincaid sitting back there.
Another 65 flat. And we are down to, we still got 8. This is amazing.
I mean, this
and
far
there goes Nico.
It tells you that they're not going all out, and Nico needs to push the pace. And that's a response immediately by Ahmed. Mo speed. Can he hold? Oh, here we go. They're rolling. Mo, Nico, Samuel. There goes Fisher, starting to work to the outside. He's now in third. Vilska following him from behind. Woody losing a little bit of space, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything yet. Almgren's following Vilska. Samuel's starting to hurt a little bit. He's sliding back. Kurgat, can he get around and on to Almgren?
And Grant looks amazing.
We are going to get sub 27 because Ahmed is on the lights. Mo on the lights. Nico Young, the collegiate, on his shoulder. Grant Fisher there. Vilska looks like he's struggling a little bit. Can he hold on to Fisher? Almgren's starting to move to the outside. Can he get back to the front?
I'm going to give you a split right here on this most recent lap. That was a 61.
61. They're going to go sub 60 here, I bet you. Ahmed is in the lead. Nico on their shoulder. We still have not seen all their cards. Somebody is holding an ace in their pocket, and we don't know it yet. Is it going to be Ahmed? Is it going to be Nico? Is it going to be Fisher? Is it going to be Almgren? They are all in the race. Samuel and Vilska. Kurgat back there as well, but up front it is Ahmed. Nico Young. We saw the high schooler Sadie Engelhardt upset the 1500 field. Can the collegiate Nico Young upset this field? But there goes Fisher. Fisher to the outside. Fisher around Nico. Can Fisher get to Mo? This is what we saw in 2022. Fisher and Ahmed into the final straight. Nico is still there though. Fisher in front of Ahmed. Fisher into the home stretch. How low under 27 can he go? Ahmed, he's showing his cards. Can he go? There's Almgren on the inside. Nico Young on the outside. Nico's going to get second, but it is Grant Fisher, the American record holder, takes it in 26:52. He said, this is my house. I can run faster than this. That was easy. That's my kick. Catch me at the Olympic Games.
26:52.04 for Fisher. Nico, new NCAA record, 26:52.72. Almgren, monster debut, 26:52.87. Unbelievable. Mohamed, 26:53. Wildshot, you called it. Wildshot, 26:55 in fifth.
That's a South African record, and by the way, that is a Swedish national record as well for Almgren.
So Samuel, insert him into fifth in 26:53. Top two collegians at 26:52 and 3. Wildshot in sixth. Woody 26:57. Oh, Woody.
So 26:52 is the fourth fastest time ever by an American. Obviously Fisher's at the top of that list with 1. We just demolished the Swedish national record. We didn't say his name enough. Andreas Almgren absolutely took that one home. That is a new Swedish national record by a ton. Vildskud got the South African record, I think, 26:55. Yeah, just by a mile, 27:29, not by a mile, by like 250 meters, but we'll call it a mile.
Close enough.
Vildskud, the new 10K record holder, adds that to his 3K and his 5K. He is definitely the best South African distance runner of all time. Woody Kincaid, sub 27, 26:57 as well. Oh, man, and I'm sure we're missing some national records here. I mean, Rayner ran 27:09. Yeah, that's a national record for Australia. And he's in 13th.
So Patrick Deaver ran 27:09, that puts him in position to qualify for the Olympic Games as well for Great Britain.
Yeah, Deaver with a very good run there.
And we're going to go down to the track.
All right, we are live with Mr. Grant Fisher, champ of the Paris 10K at the 10 tonight. You run pretty well at this meet. How you feeling?
Good, man. I mean, get the standard. That was the goal and got it done. So it feels good. It was a perfect race, perfect setup. A lot of guys did a lot of work, not including myself. So I really appreciate them. And you know, I think I haven't seen the final result, but it seemed like a lot of people went under 27. So that was the goal for everybody. So yeah, good day.
It was fun watching you and Mo run down. You did that, I think, the other year, right, when you were going out.